Chasing status. KA. I was raised in the city. Against the odds. It's I will not lose. Look, I was raised in a city with no heart, where there's no heart. Stepping when it comes to me getting that no flaws. I'm a hustler, I'm a hustler. Raised on the battlefield, born as a sufferer. Before I had a deal, I was still stacking bills. Get punk, sell food to the customers. Now I get love crews in the back of the S-Class. Them can't move like that, you know. I come from
how you doing? David.
You can see it in the news.
Just a short video today. I've had the VW Golf GTi with the performance pack for about a year, and I really just thought I'd do a short review on my thoughts on the car for the time that I've had it. So I kind of bought it in the middle of lockdown, which seemed to make sense because, well, two reasons really. The first one is my previous vehicle, which was a Mercedes E-Class, the AMG Coupe, was not going to conform to the ULEZ laws, which the Mayor of London had been is going to be bringing in shortly. And I thought that every day I kept it, really I was going to be more out of pocket. So from an economic standpoint, it made sense to divest myself of the Mercedes. And I was tracking this particular car, which I saw in Salford at a VW dealership in Salford, and wasn't really sure if I would just drive all the way to Manchester to view a car. But when I saw it was moved to Birmingham, it became a little bit more attractive, and even more attractive still when it moved to a dealership which was near to where I live in Kent. So I decided, yeah, I'd go and have a look at it. So I had some initial telephone discussions with a sales guy at the VW dealership, and it became really clear that not only did he want me to buy the car, he kind of wanted me to buy the car in the shortest possible time. So clearly there weren't people running around you know, desperate to buy cars in the middle of a lockdown, and I just again took advantage of it's time and opportunity, right? Just taking advantage of the time and the opportunity to pick up the vehicle. So yeah, went along for a test drive. I love negotiating. I just love negotiating, and it's just something I really enjoy doing. I do it as part of my full-time job, and they clearly didn't like the fact that I liked negotiating. But anyway, long story short, we got to. I certainly feel I got a great deal, not only on my Merc, but certainly on buying this. And I used the fact that I had a cash position on top of the Mercedes. I just got the feeling that they really wanted me to finance the car. I really didn't want to finance the car. I wanted to just buy it outright, and so I used the cash position to negotiate at what I felt was a stronger position to do that. So that was good. Really pleased with the way that the dealership conducted themselves. I think they really knew that it was not a matter of having them over a barrel, but it's just a matter of having a fair and equitable position when you're buying something as big as a car. In terms of finances, as big as a car is really important. And I think that historically that seesaw really was more in favour of the dealer in recent years, at least. So to have that swing back a little bit more in my favour was really good. So what I was able to do was to pick up 2019 2-litre GTi with a performance pack at a reasonable price, but then again negotiating two free services. They put brand new tyres on the vehicle. They gave me a pack. I'm not sure if you guys know this organisation called Bionic, who put this like a hydrophobic property on the car, enabling it so, you know, dirt doesn't really stick to it, and so on. But I must say I've been really impressed with that product, and a year later it's still sitting there behaving itself on the paintwork, protecting the car. And every time I wash it, you know, it's easy to wash. You know, it doesn't get grabby on any product that you put on it from a shampoo standpoint. In fact, it allows that shampoo to just glide across the paintwork, so that's been really good. So yeah, there was that. You know, certain things that they don't leave in the car, like mats, full tank of petrol, all these sorts of things that add up just after you've bought the car. I managed to just sort of negotiate into the purchase, which I was really pleased about. Also, I'm not sure if any of you guys know that, you know, if you're clever, they either will take the price of your insurance off the vehicle, or offer as part of the negotiation to pay for it, and that actually happened with my one as well. So I did come away and with what I felt was a really good deal on the car. I knew I was going to buy the car pretty much the moment I test drove her. She just felt really good. So let's just say I'm a guy of a certain age, and the VW Golf GTIs when I was a kid was really a beautiful car to own, and I'd never owned one. I'd owned Golfs in the past, but never the GTI variant, and this was an itch I really wanted to scratch. I was really interested in ensuring that I got one of these, and with some changes that were going on in my life at the time, now was a really good time to scratch that itch. And all right, fine, it's not the best car on the road, but it was the car I wanted, and yeah, so in picking one up, I knew I was just going to be happy with it. So yeah, did the test drive, and then just literally picked the car up a few days later. Its first drive was a piece of motorway driving, and again, it's, you know, like with all these cars, you know, very few people read the manual all the way through, but sadly I'm that geek. I wanted to understand everything about the vehicle prior to putting it through its paces, and it made that first drive really nice. Took her out to a bit of motorway driving, and really impressed. So this is the automatic vehicle, DSG gearbox, and the performance on it's really good. It's really good. Picks up really well, moves through the various modes very well as well. So I'm in Kent at the moment, and the normal or the comfort mode is perfect. Everything changes when you move her up to sports mode, and a buddy of mine who has an R says it's exactly the same when he moves into race mode with his vehicle as well. Everything changes. I rarely go into sport. There are times, particularly around here, with some really nice twisty roads where you can move the car around a bit, and yeah, that's really nice. The gear changes on the paddle shifters on the steering wheel. Sometimes I just find I just move the car into a manual mode, and I drive her in manual. You know, it's just really nice. Many years ago, when I got my first my first automatic car, I always said I would never go back to a manual, and I hadn't since. I've not subsequently gone back to a manual car, but there are times where driving it just feels nice, and you can either use the gear stick to select your gear, or use the paddle shifters on the steering wheel, and I use them a lot. And I was talking to my brother the other day about him using one in his car, and he says he never uses them. You know, he never uses them, and I was just wondering if that was the case for most people, whether they elected to use the paddles at any time or not. Yeah, interesting to know how people or what people do with that, whether they stick the car into drive and then off they go, or whether or not they actually use those. But anyway, I took the car out and I really enjoyed her for about 2 hours. She had 13,000 on the clock when I got her, and I've subsequently put 11,000 on her in a lot of, I would say, probably short journeys. But like I said, I didn't buy the car to make money. I really genuinely bought the car to enjoy driving her, and I have. She absolutely makes me smile pretty much every time I get into her. She's really economical, sort of between 29 and 31. I do have a bit of a lead foot, so I would expect that to be pretty much what I would expect to get out of her for what I get in. I used to put, I don't know, £90 worth of fuel in the Merc almost every week when I was up and down, at least £90, and on the proviso you don't run it dry, you know, this is about 50 quid, about £50 worth of fuel going in, and I'm more than happy to live with that, more than happy. One of the things that the Golf does do is it sort of pipes in sound into the car. Now obviously not having one previously, I don't know what that sounds like, and so I don't know whether or not it's doing it or not, but again, because I'm not in sports mode that often, probably don't get to hear those sounds that get piped in. I find that really weird that any vendor would do that with the car, pipe a sound in. It's crazy, but yeah, apparently that's the case, but I don't really hear it with this car. So what do I like about it? Yes, definitely the handling. The car handles beautifully, really nimble. You know, you just point the car where you want it to go. I know it's a strange thing to say about a car, but she does stay on line where you want her, which I really am impressed with. Brakes are amazing. Just really good set of brakes. In the cockpit, I love the digital dash. Digital dash is really good. A plethora of options in terms of how you view you know, what's happening in the engine. It's really good. The infotainment system's spot on. I'm going to say the same thing everybody else says. You know, it's just fingers all over the screen. You do end up wiping the screen pretty much every single time you drive the vehicle, but that's expected. Yeah, it's just this little bit of road that she likes to go on. It's very nice. Yeah, so it's yeah, the digital infotainment's great. Apple CarPlay, fantastic. And what I would say is I've been on the other end of a phone call, so yeah, and usually, you know, these phone systems in cars are dreadful, but I must say, being on the other end of it was really good. I thought it was a really good a good experience for me. So yeah, that I really like. Good all-round vision in this car. The mirrors cover it. There is a blind spot in the vehicle, so you do need to be extra vigilant, as I would expect every driver to be. But there are times where, you know, you get a little lazy and you don't see it, and I would just encourage anyone who's going to look at these, just be aware that there is a black spot, excuse me, a point in the vehicle where you just don't get to see. You can lose a cyclist, and that's the worst thing. You know, a car's hard to get to lose, but a motorcyclist or a cyclist, you can definitely lose in it. At night, the lights are amazing, absolutely fantastic. You would never say to yourself, I don't really need no lights. The poor LEDs now obviously make a huge difference when driving a vehicle at night. You're not going to get yourself into any problems with regard to that. And I really do like that. You know, even if you're on a high beam, it automatically dims when it sees something coming towards you. You know, it's technology allows you to turn, as you turn the wheel, the lights turn. All these things are amazing. I did not have those in my Merc previously, so to have them now is a good thing. What else do I like? Like I said, the interior is comfortable. The seats are sport seats. They don't throw you. It doesn't. You know, I'm a big lad. It keeps you locked in whilst you're driving. There's never been any complaints from the passengers that, you know, they feel as though they've been thrown around or anything like that. So the seats are comfy. Things that have surprised me or that I didn't like. I went with the performance pack and I was expecting leather seats, but they were not available in this particular car. So clearly the previous owner didn't want leather seats. Went with the plaid seats. I'm not disappointed. Sorry, I am disappointed I don't have leather seats, but the plaid ones are really nice. They're comfortable. They're warm. The heated seats work beautifully in them as well. So, you know, it kind of is what it is. What else? Any problems? So yes, I woke up one morning and found there was a coolant puddle which disappointed me greatly. Anyway, I subsequently taken it to the back to the dealership because the vehicle's still under warranty, and they found that there was a real problem with the thermostat housing. So they replaced the entire unit, which I was pleased about. I took advantage of the fact that whilst the car was in the dealership, I knew that it was going to be a service required. There was going to be a service required, an oil service required. So I took advantage of doing that at the same time. You may recall I was saying that I negotiated 2 free services, so I used that one. I used one of them. I used one of them when that was the case. So yeah, they had the car for a couple of days. It came back and she just feels, I'll be honest, it feels really good. The car feels great. So it's always the case when you've had a service, isn't it? You know, change of oil, filters, etc, etc. Car comes back feeling like a champ. So not disappointed with that at all. Not disappointed. Boot space is reasonable. I know they call it the VW Golf, but you can't get a full set of golf clubs in the back and close the lid. You know, your driver specifically doesn't allow you to close it, but you can get comfortably, you know, 2-3 sets of golf equipment in the back. But you do have to lower that rear seat, or at least, well, a percentage of that rear seat. But I'm very comfortable. I'm in the car. I'm in the car every day, and 99% of the time is only me in it. So I don't really care too much about boot space. Whatever I'm carrying, I can carry. It tends to work very well for me. So nice driving this car. So nice. You know, great handling. Very good brakes. Relatively economical. Like I say, you know, there are lots of faster vehicles in this class. The Seat Leon Sport's faster. The Audi A3 S3 is faster. But as I said before, there's something about Golf heritage that I really, really enjoy. An itch I had to scratch. Right, I'm sure there'll be a lot of questions that you have, so if you have any, please just put them in the comments below. I'll be hoping to post some more videos as time goes on, specifically if I move to the stage 1 change of the vehicle. Be sure to know that I'll be putting that up as well. Anyway, look, thanks very much for your company, appreciated that. No doubt we'll catch up again soon. Take care.
Chasing status. KA. I was raised in the city.